Yo, what's up guys, it's Jake Gordon here again. Welcome back to another video. This video, I'm going to do something super basic because I know there's a lot of people out there, brand new to Shopify dropshipping, especially in 2021. There always is around the new year. So we're going to do a complete beginner strategy, setting up a store, how you should look your store. Pretty much a Shopify tutorial for absolute beginners. So if you're brand new and you haven't seen any kind of tutorials in 2021, drop a like, drop a comment if you enjoyed it, and let's crack on with the video. So yeah, first thing you want to do is literally just go on shopify.com. It's that simple. And the good thing about Shopify is you get a 14-day free trial. So even if you just completely mess up or you just don't like it or just whatever, you can just do it again, like if you run out of time. But 14 days is it's enough time. Even if you're brand new, it's so much time to to get it going. So shopify.com, enter an email address. So like I said, I recommend having a store's email address. So I recommend not using your personal email address, right? Everyone's got a personal email address. Some people have 10, right? So if you're serious about dropshipping, you want to have a store's email address, right? Don't do a personal email address, because everything, like all the sales, for when you're running ads and all that kind of stuff as well, to push the sales, you don't want it to go to personal, because trust me, it gets messy as hell. And that also goes, in my opinion, for setting up the store's payment details as well. You can start with personal. I did a few years ago, but then you want to start using business accounts if you can. Open up another personal account, whatever, because you don't want the payments going in to the same account, right? So we're just going to do a fake email address, because I'm not going to actually run this store. Password, whatever. What is kind of important, but not really, the store name. Keep in mind, this is not your domain. So like I said, shopify.com, obviously that's a domain, right? This is not going to be your final domain. You'll do that later. But the store name, in my opinion, is important. It just keeps it clean and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to, pretend we're doing like a fitness store, right? So we're just going to go with, fit. And some of them won't be available. I don't think this is going to be available. So this one isn't available, if that makes sense. So we can just, put another couple of letters on. So Fit Taker. I promise you, I've scaled stores to 250k, 300k with the dumbest names possible. So the name is not that important. I just recommend having something clean, not something like bargains, like outlet, all this kind of like cheap stores that people have. You want to really kind of brand it, in my opinion. So even Fit Taker sounds dumb, but it looks a lot better than Bargain Outlet. Like, I promise you, the name is not that important, unless you're putting something like bargains and all that kind of stuff, because nobody likes that kind of stuff. So we're just going to go create your store. And all they really want to do is they'll ask you some personal details about you. Not really personal, but it's like, what have you done before? In my opinion, it does not make a difference to absolutely anything. People stress out about this next part we're going to see in a second. It's not important. You don't need to stress about it. So are you already selling? Like I said, it's not important. So I'll just put, I'm selling, just not online. Blah, blah, blah. I'm ready to go. Online. Which kind of revenue? So people stress about this all the time. Some people stress that it's really important to do 1 million plus because they treat you better. It's just not true. So 0, we're just getting started. Industry, let's just say, like I said, we're doing fitness. Let's see if it's there. Sports. No, we're not doing it for a client. So you can even skip this, like I said. I recommend filling it in, to be honest. So this is all your personal information. I'll blur this out. So this is what the back end looks like, if this kind of makes sense. It looks a little bit confusing. It's like a whole new phone, if that makes sense. So if you just got a new iPhone, it looks like a different thing if you're coming from like a Nokia, right? If you've never seen this, it's going to be like, yo, what's all this? But it is not that hard. So we'll go over, literally, like I said, it's going to be step by step. We'll go over everything. Home screen, this is where it's going to show your sales. So once you fill in all this kind of stuff, you would see like a blank dashboard. I'm sure you've seen people Shopify sales before. This is where it usually shows your sales. Obviously your trial is just started, but if you want to just jump straight into it, you can obviously select a plan. They've got 3 plans. First one I think is $29.99 or just $29, $79 or $299. And once you're scaling, getting a lot of sales, you definitely want to upgrade. Obviously they'll try and sell you the middle one off the bat. You don't need to do that, because it's not going to make a massive difference at the start. But if you're getting, hundreds and if not thousands of orders a month, which is obviously the goal, you definitely want to be on this plan, because even though it might sound a lot more expensive than that one, which is really not, but you're saving so much more in fees, right? So you're just saving so much more in transaction fees, which way adds up more than $200, right? It can be in the thousands if you're doing a lot of orders. But at the start, you would just go for this one once you're ready. But like I said, we're not ready to do that yet, right? We need to build the store. Obviously, we need a domain as well. So the domain, like I said, that's the most important part, in my opinion, right? So you need to make sure the domain's available. And that's the bit that's going to show. So for example, Fit Taker, Nobody sees that bar you, right? That's all for you. Orders is obviously once you start getting orders, they'll come up here and then you fulfill them. I don't know how you guys are planning to fulfill them, drop shipping or, you know, manually doing it yourself, hopefully. But yeah, that's when your orders will show the customer's details and you'll be good to go. Products is obviously where you add the products, pretty self-explanatory. So this is where you add the products, and this is why I love Shopify. It's so easy to do. You'll literally just, you know, drag and drop in most of the times. Customers, obviously customers. Analytics gives you a little bit more about your store and what's kind of going on. So for example, your conversion rate. Usually you want to see 1 to 2% is a pretty good conversion rate. Also depends, you know, are you running ads to the store? So obviously you want to make it profitable. So it's super important to know your numbers and your profit margins. But yeah, you can see more information once you get it going. Marketing, I never go in here because, like I said, I use Google Ads. So I don't, you know, do it from here. I use Google Ads to run it. Even if you're doing Facebook or Snapchat ads, I would recommend you not go in here. You want to go in actual, you know, the Snapchat backend website for running ads. Like, you'll never really need to go in here. Discounts if you're setting, you know, email. Maybe you're doing email sequences with like a 50% off or 25% off for special occasions. You can just create a discount code, put it to the 25%. You'll have a code. There you go, super simple. Apps, people stress about apps all the time. You really don't, like for my stores where I'm running 6 figures a month, I have literally 2-3 apps. So I have, you know, the Feed for Google Shopping app, which we don't want to get into because it's, like I said, it's a beginner thing. It's, you know, it's going to be confusing. And I have, what do I have? I have an SMS bump, which is pretty much remarketing, and I have Facebook DPA app. That's literally all I have, to be honest, for all my stores. So you do not need hundreds and hundreds of apps like people, you know, have, and also it slows down your store, so you don't want to do that. Online store, so this is where you put the theme in. So usually I have some good themes, but obviously the free ones are fine to go from the start, believe it or not. Debut, it kind of looks like, it's a little bit, off and on. There is some better ones for sure, but we'll just use the Debut as an example. If you have custom themes that you've bought in the past or just downloaded, you can just upload them here, and honestly the theme makes or breaks the store in my opinion. Not breaks or breaks it that much, but it makes a store look super good. You can make a store look really branded. Blog posts I'll never touch. Pages I will touch because I'm using Google Shopping, so I want to have like contact us page, privacy policy page. So if you're, you know, just doing a basic store with Facebook ads or whatever, you want to have some terms of service page, you want to have a contact us page, you want to have a privacy policy page. Just Google them to find out. Don't let it stress you out too much. They're not that hard to find out. Just so you can get approved for Facebook. I know Facebook is quite strict with their ad policies, but you can just have some generic copy and paste terms of service pages that you can find online. You'll just customize them towards your store. You can see here the password. So once you're ready to launch a store, we'll show you domains first. So this is, like I said, where you buy the domain, so you need the domain to actually run it. So obviously this is in my Shopify, so I want to buy a domain. I recommend buying it on Shopify. You can get it cheaper, but it just keeps it, if you're a beginner, it keeps it nice and easy because you just click a couple of buttons. So if I wanted to do fittecher.com, this is where it actually lets you know it's available or not. And they're usually about $14 a year, pretty much all of them are, to be honest. Alright, so awesome. We can see FitTecher would be available if we were going to run this, so it's $14 a year, so it works out to be, you know, about $1 a month. All you would do is buy it and obviously link it. But like I said, you don't want to do that off the start because you got 14 days to build this store. You don't want to start paying for stuff, you know, immediately. Preferences. This is where you would remove, you know, this password once you pick a plan, so like customers can actually start coming. If you don't untick this box, it's not going to be available, you know, to view for your customers. This is just what we can see, but if anybody else went to FitTecher, you know, .com, it's not even available yet, but .myshopify.com, you wouldn't be able to see it, right? It'd be password protected. So this is how the store looks. You can see how easy that was. Like, I haven't even touched this, but you can see we've pretty much got a store. All we really need to do is fill in the blanks. It's that simple. But yeah, let's come out here. And settings. So settings are going to be in here. For example, you want to fill in some of your information. Obviously, store's email, blah, blah, blah. This will already be filled in. You want to make sure everything's right. If you're accepting GBP, USD, where are you running, like where are you accepting from? You want to make sure that's correct because you want to make sure you're accepting your currency in the right currency. Payments, super important. So most of you guys will use Shopify Pay, which is literally like a payment processor, so it's super easy to do. You just complete this, you put in your account details, your sort code. This is so you can get paid, by the way, so you want to make sure you do that. If you guys are using PayPal as well, just complete that payment, set it up with your PayPal. Like I said, I always recommend getting a business one because you want to keep it separate, but these are super easy to set up. If you can't use Shopify Pay for whatever reason, you can get a third-party one like Stripe. But there's a bunch of other, payment processors you can get. WorldPay is good as well if you're doing scale. So because Shopify Pay is not available for every single country, it's going to be available for most guys out there, UK, USA, Canada, Europe. But for some people like India, I don't think you guys can use it, but you definitely can still. Don't let that put you off, because I know people that run ads successfully in these kind of third world countries without Shopify Pay. It's a little bit disadvantaged, but if you're willing to go to that next level, most people aren't, and getting that figured out, you guys will be able to kill it, because you're willing, you're hungry obviously. But super easy to do. Complete this setup, complete this account setup, and you're done for that. Checkout, I'm not going to go into that. Taxis, not going to go into that. Shipping, delivery, probably want to do this. You want to change like what are you accepting for your customers, right? So for me, I'd usually do a free one, so a standard one, and then I could have maybe like a express, right? So if you're drop shipping, probably don't want to do this. But if you're drop shipping from maybe eBay and you're getting a decent delivery time, like 1-2 days, which you can do by the way, I want to maybe add something like that. Even though it makes no difference to me, I can make an extra $5.99 per customer. If I get 1,000 orders doing the express delivery, it's an extra $6,000 in pure profit. And that's literally what I do, by the way. I do stuff like that. $5.99, I only do that for my niche stores because it's kind of like branded. If I'm doing a general store, I go $2.99, $3.99, kind of thing. Leave page. What else do you need? Locations. No, don't need to really go in here. Plans and permissions, like I said, we went over that before. So once you're ready to go, you want to make sure you're choosing like what plan are you doing. So if you go compare plans, like I said, start with this one, at least until you're doing 50k a month. That might sound absolutely insane. It might not be, how you're going to do that, but it's not, once you get the ads going and you actually learn ads properly, that's a whole different story. But once you get it running properly, you want to jump to this. 50k is maybe a little bit too high, maybe 30k, but usually, I'm jumping from this one to this one immediately, right? But yeah, $29 a month is absolutely fine to start off until you're doing at least a decent amount in sales, like I said. Store languages, you're not really going to go in there. Billing, like I said, that should already be filled in, and legal, you're going to be, good to go. Okay, so let's go over, how to do the actual theme, because like I said, we've got a basic store here, so we're just going to go customize. If you want to change a theme, you can go explore free themes. There's some more themes there, but like I said, they're not great. I'd recommend, investing in a little theme if you can. You don't have to go for like $100 one, $200 one. You can get stuff for like $10, $20, third parties. But we're just going to just start with the Debutify one or Debut one, and just work with what we got. So like I said, we're going to do a fitness kind of like theme, basic stuff. I recommend jumping onto Canva. So canva.com, it's free. Just use your Facebook account to make an account, or a Gmail. Ideally the same email address you set up with the store with, because it keeps it all clean, like I said. And this is where we ideally want to do a logo design, right? Because we want to make it clean as much as possible. I'm not going to make, I'm just going to do this in the basic amount of time. I'm not going to make this beautiful. If I was doing it, I'd take a little bit more time. But it's just an example. You guys can take your time when you're doing it as well. So as well, what we want to do is we want to jump on probably Google as well and grab an image just to kind of get it going. So if obviously I'm going to pretend I'm selling an ab stimulator, right? That's going to be the product I'm going to sell. So I might have, this. Let's just see how this would look. So I'll just drag it on my desktop, and then I'll go in here, and then, well, these don't always look amazing on the first go. You really have to play about until you find an image. For example, that one looks like absolute trash. It's all blurry. So I would never use that one. So I might try this one. But you really need to, like I say, play about with it. We're not going to make this perfect. But when you guys are doing it, take your time, because you want to make it look, not like that. Like that looks like trash, obviously. But same with that one. Doesn't look great, to be honest. But we're just going to keep it, right? We're not going to, go through all that to find a perfect one, right? But you get the gist of it, right? You can change this, really, like make this like whatever you want. But you get what we're trying to do, and look how easy it is to customize a whole store. Obviously, this looks like absolute trash. I would never run this, but you get the gist of it. You can really customize it. Like I said, even on the free themes, man, you can really like make it your kind of own, right? You can go homepage, you can go whatever page you want, the collection pages, all that kind of stuff. And once you start having products, you can start coming down here, so you can start maybe telling a little story. If you don't want some stuff in here, so say, for example, I just don't want this here, I just want to get rid of it, bye. Right, so you start filling out this. You might have some more like images, like of different kind of, like, for example, this store of clients you've helped, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll have your products down here if you want to put your ab stimulator here, and like your other products, maybe your, you know, row things or whatever you call them. Come down here, you can delete this bit if you want. Have some, you know, reviews. I always recommend using real reviews, but let's be honest, nobody does. Like, we all use fake reviews, it is what it is. And then down here is once you put your policy pages in, you'll link them here, and obviously you have your terms of service, contact us, blah blah blah. But you get the gist of it for you guys beginners. This is how you're building the store. You can also see what it looks like on mobile, which is cool. So, you know, you can build it out on mobile. Ideally, you want to customize for mobile as well, because most people will be coming from, you know, your Facebook ads or your Google ads from, you know, mobile. So you get the gist of it. What a lot of people do forget is the favicon, right? So you can see up here the Canva. They've got your kind of Canva favicon here. Obviously, Google have got their Google one, right? And Shopify have got their Shopify one. You want to have like a, you know, a favicon, in my opinion, right? So you can do your logo, like I said, on Google just by grabbing images, or you can grab, you know, on here. But let's just say we wanted a favicon, right? That could be your favicon. So once you save that, and then what you would do is you would drag it in here. So you save it to your desktop, drag it in here. And now what you've got is this will be your little logo once you save it, and obviously once you're on a paid plan, once you load up your FitTech, you're not going to have the Shopify logo. You're going to have this, because you want to, you know, you don't want to have the Shopify logo. It looks bad, you know, it doesn't look good. So that'll be the next stage you want to do. Obviously, we're not going to do that, but ideally you want to do that. You can customize the checkout, you know, how the checkout looks. You want to go through all this and make sure everything's customized. You know, it doesn't need to be perfect. People will spend, that's what I said, people will spend the 2 weeks on this. You don't need to spend the 2 weeks on this. You can literally build this out in a day. You know, I build stores in like, you know, an hour, to be honest, and they're usually good to go, because you want to get testing whatever ads you're doing, you know, immediately. So yeah, last thing we're going to go over is, you know, the products, because obviously the products is one of the most important things. You can have a beautiful store, but if you have no products or a crappy product, it's not going to work. Believe it or not, I'd rather have a crappy store and an amazing product, because you can sell an amazing product on a crappy store. You cannot not sell, you know, a crappy product on the most beautiful store. It just won't work, especially with ads, right? So when I'm doing my products, I'll just give you a quick example. I'm not, you know, doing them from scratch. I recommend if you've got your own custom products, obviously you're doing them from scratch. But if I want to just get testing fast, especially on Google and Facebook, you know, I just want to, you know, literally get products up. So obviously we're going to use the, you know, ab stimulator as an example, right? We just want to see, like, if I want to sell, you know, on shopping, for example, I'm literally just going to look at what's ranking right now. Now, this is obviously super advanced if you don't know about Google Ads, all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I'm not trying to recreate the wheel. Alright, so save your images. Obviously take more time. Like, we're not trying to rush this, but we want to get you guys going as fast as possible. Okay, so every image you put at the start, by the way, is going to be your main image, right? So make sure, you know, if you're doing Google Ads as well, you don't want to have any images with text on them on the main image, right? Cool. And let's say I wanted to make, you know, let's say I obviously need a title, I need a description. So we're just going to grab this right now. We're not going to focus about, you know, making it optimized because it takes too long. We'll save that for another video. But this is literally if you want to get going the absolute fastest and not waste a lot of time. Like I said, I don't recommend copying exactly, but just for this example, we're going to charge product. We're not going to charge tax, and we just want to say that we've got, you know, 100 in stock, and the price. Let's just say we're getting it for $9 because I know exactly how much this costs. When it's sell for $29, we're just at $39.99. We usually put some tags in, so I like to put a couple of tags in. So I might go ab stimulator, you know, just so, you know, helps with, you know, people searching our store. If they're searching for that, you know, we want to be able to find it. And that's literally it. That's how you would create a product. Obviously, you want to link this to collections or your pages, the main page. If you want to preview this, we can see exactly how it looks. But this is, guys, this is why I love Shopify. Like, I'm done. Like, to be honest, I'm done. Obviously, this, you know, doesn't look the best, but you know, how easy was that? You can definitely still make sales with this. Like, I'm done. If I want to see, you know, mobile, right click, inspect, boom, this is how it's going to look on mobile. So it does look good, man. Like, it doesn't look bad. Obviously, you know, buy now, you can test this. Obviously, I didn't, you know, put the, you know, what's it called? The domain, obviously. So once you do that, you can test like your checkout. And that's literally it. You know, that would be product number 1 done, right? Obviously, you want to make it active. You just click that. In fact, you just click that, make product set as active, boom, if it's good to go once your store is obviously live. That's one product. So if I'm doing like a fitness niche, guess what I'm going to do? Okay, I'm going to the next product. I'm going to the next one. I'm looking at them, whatever else products I can get. A lot of product research, Amazon, eBay, have a look if you're starting out. Or the best thing to do is literally just use Google. It's a free tool. So I can just type in any more, random products I can think of. In the fitness niche, I bring them over to my store as long as I can source them. And that's it. That's how you can build a store in like 5 minutes, to be honest. It's that simple. And obviously take your more time. Like I would never send a store like that, homepage, all that kind of stuff. I would create a better logo as well. But if you want to just get it going, it's literally that simple. So I hope this guy's helped you. If you're just starting out, if you like it, make sure you like it. And also I'm going to do a quick plug. If you want to learn how to actually create, profitable stores with Google Ads and actually run this, because you've got to think, like, once this is done, you've got to get it in front of people. You're not just going to, have a store and it's going to make sales. I promise you guys, it doesn't work like that. So if you want to learn how to do some Google Ads, all that kind of stuff, there is going to be a link to my course. Like I said, I'm not edging you guys to buy it. If you want it, it's going to be there. And obviously I want you guys in there because I want you guys to get sales with Google Ads. And I think Google Ads is the best way. For me, it's the best way. So if you want to grab that, go and grab it. If you want to ask me about it, ask me about it. Or don't buy it if you don't want it. It's that simple. So I hope this video was valuable. And I hope if you're starting out in 2021, you actually get some momentum. So don't just watch this and not take action. You guys need to start creating stores, right? We're creating stores every single month and launching them and running them. If they fail, they fail, but we're still creating more stores, because this is where you need to start. Once you get past the first hurdle, and most of the people where people fail is they just cancel their store. They don't pay the first $29 for the subscription. Just pay the $29 and then you're in the game, right? Don't keep wasting time. Stores are stores. You keep going until you get it. So, with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next video.